What's going on, guys? My name is Jasmine. I am a fitness coach for vegan and plant-based women, and today's video is to address all of the ex-vegan madness that took place not only last year but over the last couple of years. If you've been vegan for a while now, you've probably seen your fair share of videos all over YouTube titled something along the lines of like, why I am no longer vegan. It's kind of sad because there were a lot of really big names in the vegan community who just out of nowhere, it seemed, decided to stop being vegan. And if you follow these people and were inspired by them, it kind of sucks because you're like, wow, I wonder if everything that they used to say or all of the hype around a vegan and plant-based diet is not actually legit. At least that's what I had thought. So let's talk about this. What can we actually learn from all of the people, both men and women, that stopped being vegan over the last couple of years? For starters, I've been vegan for over 7 years. So I have seen a lot of people come and go from the vegan and plant-based space. And one thing that I've seen so much is this obsession with detoxes, fasting, and cleanses. Like, I don't know why the vegan community is so obsessed with detoxing and cleansing. So I saw a lot of influencers advocating for like a very restrictive, extreme kind of diet, which, me being someone who helps women sustainably reach their goals, like I can see right away why the hell that did not work. Like, you cannot live off of mono meals and detox teas and only fruit. Like, although there are maybe people out there that are claiming that they're doing it and they're happy and they're thriving, you just don't always know what actually is the truth, and we'll go over that in a second. As it is, a plant-based diet can already feel restrictive for some people, especially because most of us, at least everyone that I know, grew up with the standard American diet. In fact, to this day, and I've been vegan for over 7 years, like I said, I still only know a handful of people who are vegan or plant-based. So most of us grew up in a standard American diet. So for the majority of people, it's safe to say that going plant-based is a really big change. Like, you're changing the way you do everything. And when you add on top of that, like the need for detoxing and fasting and raw diets and all of this, like, it might seem exciting in the beginning, especially because so many people on the internet make these huge promises. Like, they cured this and they healed from that and all of this amazing stuff. So people are willing to try it and find really fast that it's really, really hard to keep up with. Like, and this isn't something that's only specific to the plant-based and the vegan world, because any restrictive diet has a tendency of not sticking with people. Why would this be any different? So yes, if you're doing zero fat diets, several day fasts, water fasts, mono meals, raw diets, like all the stuff that's going on right now, then of course it's going to be hard to stay vegan or plant-based. So something we can learn from ex-vegans is to approach fitness, nutrition in a more wholesome way. Something else we can learn from ex-vegans is that your health is your responsibility and your responsibility only. So again, just because there are a ton of people on the internet advocating for 3-day fasts and 10-day juice cleanses and raw only meals, it does not necessarily mean that that's going to be the best solution for you. I mean, the human body is so complex, it's so amazing and mysterious all at the same time. So just because something works for one, don't be discouraged if it doesn't work for you. However, please always investigate your own health. I highly recommend getting blood work done at least once a year just to see where everything is and ensure that you are filling your personal nutritional gap. And please don't think that only vegan or plant-based people are prone to having nutritional gaps in their diet. Every person is responsible for ensuring that they are filling their nutritional gaps. In fact, something that many people don't realize is 40% of the US population is deficient in vitamin D. However, somehow this became a vegan thing. Many people are deficient in B12, yet that became recently a vegan thing. So don't let these people fool you that are advocating against a vegan and plant-based diet, that vegans have a harder time meeting nutritional requirements. This is something everyone, vegan or not, vegetarian, pescatarian, carnivore, whatever the heck you subscribe to, everyone should take their health into their own hands. And it's okay to get like inspiration from other influencers and people on the internet, but please know that your body is unique and it's only your job to investigate into your own health. Don't blindly take anyone's promises. This is another benefit of having a coach working with you, because you can kind of take what you've learned from your blood work from your doctor to your coach and be like, okay, how can I fill these gaps? What are some things that I should do regularly in order to make sure I have these things covered? Something else we can learn from ex-vegans is this need to appear perfect is toxic. I think something that most of these very public ex-vegans had in common is they carried so much pressure to get this right. I feel like they felt obligated to be like a beautiful example of health, and that caused them to be dishonest, because many of these people were selling nutrition programs or somehow had their plant-based or vegan lifestyle tied into their income. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, I'm a fitness coach for vegan and plant-based women, so if I decide one day to stop being vegan, would I expect that to affect, or would I expect my audience to see me differently? Of course, but I think ethically we have to be honest. So it's kind of like worrisome that for a lot of these people that stopped being vegan, who were selling programs and selling nutrition plans, or just like carried this image in the vegan community, they actually stopped being vegan long before they even announced it, because they were afraid of losing money. Now, I don't want to in any way put the responsibility on their audience. This is definitely something that as individuals we have to work on, because it's so dishonest, it is so unethical to be walking around pretending like your health is perfect, pretending that you are still vegan, pretending like everything is amazing and you are so happy if you're not. We need more realness, not only on social media as a whole, but like for our fellow vegan and plant-based people, we need to be straight up. I can't even tell you how many times I have called out vegan junk food brands and literally just said, hey, this stuff is not healthy, out of attempt to help and support my fellow vegans and make sure that people are aware and knowledgeable on what kind of food is good for the body and what kind of food maybe is not, and how many vegan people tried to silence me or argue with me. Like, why am I airing out dirty laundry of a vegan company? If we want this vegan movement to thrive, then I should just pretend like it doesn't exist. Like, I should pretend like all of these companies that make delicious vegan food are good for us. Like, we need to have more realness and more transparency in this vegan community. And that is with everybody. That's with influencers, with brands, with people who advocate for the community. So I would be doing my clients and my following a disservice to pretend that everything is perfect when it's not. If I am experiencing any kind of health issue, I feel like it is my job to share it and be like, hey, for all of my vegan women, goddesses coming after me, just know this is a possibility. Make sure you're taking care of this. Like, we have to look out for each other. But if everyone is pretending that they're perfect and everyone just cares so much about this image and don't want to be the one to be like, hey, I'm vegan and I'm unhealthy, like, that is doing this community such a disservice. So this need to appear perfect is so damn toxic. And not just that, if we're burying our head in the sand when we know we have some health issues going on, but we don't want to admit it because we're like, well, I'm a vegan coach and I'm an influencer and I'm a nutritionist or whatever. If I admit that I have IBS, or if I admit that I have candida overgrowth or whatever, people aren't going to think I'm legit. We're also doing ourselves a disservice because we're not seeking the help when it's early, when it's easier to take care of it, because we're so afraid of people thinking that we don't have it all together. That's just such nonsense. We have to get over this need to be perfect. And also, we need to be okay with being judged. So fucking what? If someone is like, what, you have health problems? I don't want to follow you anymore. Let them unfollow. To me, the best leaders are real, transparent, honest leaders. Another thing we can learn from ex-vegans is make sure that you know very clearly why you are vegan. It's so crazy how many videos I watched where people didn't really have any compelling reasons to go vegan aside from the fact that it was on trend. Like, well, this influencer went vegan, or I saw this one movie and I went vegan, and they kind of just left it at that. And the reason I can tell that they didn't have a really big why behind their decision was their reasoning for not being vegan anymore was just simply inconvenience. They were like, it just became hard for me to be vegan, so I stopped. It was just hard for me to go out to eat, so I started eating cheese and eggs and meat and stuff. So it's like, if you had a super compelling reason to be vegan, you wouldn't quit just due to minor inconvenience. We are so detached, we're so disassociated with reality that we have learned to see a plate of red meat and not think of the animal that suffered and was killed to be there. So we need to get really freaking clear as to why we are vegan, and sometimes that even requires frequent reminders. When I went vegan, I didn't think I would actually be vegan. It was kind of like a little challenge. I was someone who loved eating animal products. I was like that type that I wanted to just like not think about it, not even hear about it. If some vegan person was like, oh, but the animals and they think and they feel, I was like, la la la, I don't care. Like, I wanted to be ignorant. However, I took it upon myself, I made it my responsibility to ensure I was continuously educating myself on a vegan and plant-based diet. I was watching lots of documentaries, I was reading a lot of books, I was surrounding myself with other people who think the way that I think on social media. So it's up to us to continue to remind ourselves why we're doing this. And this is with anything. You can decide today that you want to get in shape and you want to build muscle and you want to lose weight. And I promise you that in a week, in a month, in 3 months, you're going to have to keep reminding yourself why you're doing this, because there will be times when it's hard. There will be times when it's inconvenient. There will be times that you go out to eat and you have to eat at the salad bar because it's not in alignment with your goals and your ethics at the time. So just know, with anything that's important to you, it's okay to admit like, hey, I need to keep reminding myself of why I'm doing this in order for me to stay on track. I don't care what any vegan person says, just because you have thoughts of like, oh, I could really eat, I would really crave that, I really want to eat that. It doesn't make you any less vegan. Just kind of like honor your thoughts and do what you have to do to remind yourself why you did this in the first place. Something else we can learn from ex-vegans is if you are having any concerns with your health, which is not always attached to your lifestyle, to your diet. Sometimes we can bring health concern or health issues with us when we go vegan, or, you know. So if your goal is to be vegan and you are experiencing health issues, the obvious step would be to seek help from a professional who specializes in a plant-based diet. So many times I'd see ex-vegans go to paleo people, like people who specialize in a paleo diet, people who specialize in a standard American type of diet, like the typical like lean fish, lean meats, eggs, raw dairy. Like, so if you want to be vegan, why are you going to go to a health professional who does not advocate for being vegan? It just never made sense to me. If you have issues with your digestive system, why not go to the plant-based GI doctor who specializes in helping people like us? Like, I don't understand why so many people were surprised when they were like, so I was feeling this way and I went to my doctor and they told me I need to start eating salmon. Well, yeah, no fucking shit, Karen. That's what they learn in school. Like, it's not standard practice to specialize in a plant-based diet, hopefully one day. But like, of course they're gonna tell you that because that's all they know. It's not that they're trying to steer you away from being plant-based. Usually. It's just that's what they're taught, that's what they know. And if you desire to continue to be vegan, go to someone who specializes in a plant-based diet, because there are many people who do. Many professionals who are amazing at what they do, who specialize in a plant-based diet. In fact, it doesn't surprise me, but a lot of my clients before they worked with me have worked with a coach before, a fitness trainer, a fitness coach before, and for the most part, they weren't vegan. And I've heard so many stories of my clients being like, so many previous coaches tried to convince me to stop being vegan. They told me I wouldn't build muscle, they told me I wouldn't lose weight, that I'm eating too many carbs, that I won't get enough protein, that I really should think about incorporating eggs, I really should consider eating red meat once a week, and it's insanity. But we can't blame the coach because that's all they know. If I were to go, in fact, when I was taking my certification program with Precision Nutrition, it's tailored to the average individual. Most of the nutrition advice is going to be for people who consume meat and dairy. So of course, that's what I'm gonna learn, right? However, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be better than a plant-based diet. It's just that us vegans are the minority. So find someone who specializes in the lifestyle that you want to live. If I wanted to be a carnivore, I would go to a doctor who advocates for being a carnivore, right? Like, it makes sense. But for some reason, many of these ex-vegans didn't see it that way and they just went to a standard traditional doctor and were surprised when they were like, oh, I needed to start eating more red meat, my doctor said. Sometimes I wonder if they were like being ignorant by choice, or like, well, I know they're gonna recommend that I start eating eggs and I kind of want to start eating eggs, so maybe that can be my excuse. That way I don't have to take responsibility. Who knows? And finally, I think we can all agree through everyone's journeys, and by the way, I'm not saying that ex-vegans are wrong or right, it is what it is. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone's here to do their own thing. And although it's unfortunate that so many people on the internet are full of shit, I think that's a lesson that we can gather from this is I think we can all agree that a lot of people on the internet are just full of shit. Like, I can't count the amount of times I eye rolled so hard watching these why I am no longer vegan YouTube videos because of the things that they would say. Like, you would have someone who is vegan for 9 months and they would claim, I just randomly decided to eat an egg and all of my health issues went away. My acne cleared, my depression went away, my digestive issues healed overnight like magic. And I just felt perfectly healthy, no brain fog. I was perfect, just 1 egg. And it's like, what a load of shit. That is a lie, and they know that that is a lie. And it's so frustrating because they're making it seem now that this one animal product is going to be the key to people's happiness and health and healing. So what do you think is gonna happen if someone is experiencing similar issues that they were? Let's say they're watching this video and they're like, wow, I have SIBO too. I've been trying to figure out how to overcome it. And this person irresponsibly says, I ate this 1 egg and all of my digestive issues went away. Of course, the person watching is gonna be like, well, damn, maybe I need to eat an egg. So it's so misleading. It's so irresponsible, and people are just so full of crap. Obviously, I don't know their story. I don't know their life. I don't know the condition of their health, but it's safe to say that no one was cured by eating 1 egg. No one was cured by eating 1 fillet of salmon. Now, could you feel better by eating something that maybe you weren't used to eating? Like, obviously, there are some positives to animal products. I'm not gonna be here and front with you and be like, you cannot be healthy by eating animal products. You can be in pretty decent health and pretty decent shape by eating animal products, but I don't think you will ever be at your most optimal levels. And I know people are gonna disagree, and that's okay because there's science to back it. So if this person that claimed to eat a piece of salmon, that claimed to eat an egg, that claimed to just do this one thing and they were cured, if they had gaps in their nutrition and then they ate something that happened to fill one of those gaps, it's very possible that for the moment or the day, like, wow, I feel better. Like, think about the days where you feel dehydrated and you drink a smoothie that has a bunch of like kale and berries and all this amazing stuff. Like, you're gonna feel good after you drink it. So I'm not gonna take that away from them, but to say that they are cured and healed because of this miracle animal product is just so ridiculous. Like, 1 smoothie is not going to cure your dehydration. It's gonna make you feel good in the moment, and then that's okay. Like, we can acknowledge I feel good right now because of this one thing that I did, but does that mean that this fruit smoothie is gonna heal all of your problems? No, and to claim that it will is ridiculous and it's irresponsible. So I think as a community, we can learn from the previous people's mistakes. In fact, we should. I think we have to stop turning a blind eye to glaring issues that are in this community, such as the need to be perfect, the need to hold an image, blindly following people on social media and their crazy restrictive dieting styles. And we have to take our health into our own hands. Even if you are working with a professional, it's always a good idea to get your blood drawn to see where your nutritional gaps are. Only you can do that. And I advocate for everyone to do that, whether you are vegan or not vegan. Your health is up to you only. So although it has been heartbreaking to see so many people bounce around from going vegan to not going vegan, it's something that we have to just accept as part of this growing movement. I'm happy that there is a lot more attention, and some of it's not always going to be good. And that's okay because, like, who said it? There is no such thing as bad press. That's kind of the way we have to look at it. So I know sometimes we can like be frustrated or annoyed at these people who had such great influence and now they just decided out of nowhere to stop being vegan. We can eye roll all day, but the best thing we can do is learn from their mistakes and make sure that we don't do the same things that they did. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you are struggling with your own health and you need some help, feel free to reach out. In fact, in the description box below, I have my application form for one-on-one fitness coaching. Everything is tailored to you. Everything is completely customized. So if you're struggling a bit, I recommend looking into some help. You can also find me on Instagram at JazzyVeganCakes, where I post lots of helpful information to help you in your fitness journey.